friends, to the Asian X Games 6 presented by Toyota. Putra Stadium, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And you can see the crowd mingling outside, seeing some of the action in the interactive village. My name's Keith Allen, Steve Swope on my side, ready to take you through the action from the Bike Stunt Park prelims. Good house of Malaysian fans coming to check out the action, and Kenji Tsuruta from Japan, our first rider on course, Steve.
Kenji, one of the younger competitors, but he has got tons of skill. Pretty polished competitor also, always knows exactly what you want to do to get a good score. Nice tail whip up onto that wedge. You can see using almost every obstacle in the park course. Nice little manual transfer.
Showing you some of those technical skills as well.
Right in front of all the boys too. All his fellow competitors there, right? Sitting there watching Kenji's run. Nice little tail whip. A little extra something special. And over the sub rail, that was an ice pick transfer. Huge degree of difficulty. Another look at the little rolling tail whip.
Man, a little bit of everything in that ride, and definitely not short on style.
That was an awesome run here. I'm sorry, that was a tire tap to ice pick over. 3 tricks in 1.
86.75 points for Kenji. That's a way to start it out.
He's definitely got to be happy with that.
Each rider getting 2 75-second runs or on a 100-point scale. Top 10 going to the finals.
It is going to be tough, tough, tough to make it out of these prelims into the final. Lots of good riders, including this young man.
Zafrin Shah out of Malaysia. The Malaysian crowd absolutely loving their local riders out here. Yeah!
Huge tail whip. And Keith, it's so awesome to see the Malaysian competitors come on so strong. They progress so quickly, and they have a big shot to make it into the final this year.
Well, I'll tell you, in years past, it's been kind of the also-rans. And with the work that these guys have been doing, just trying to get dialed in, spending time riding, working, and getting some support from Rakan Muna, the Ministry of Youth and Sport, these guys are right in the hunt.
Oh, absolutely. Going down hard on an ice pick on what we call the hitching post, or we call it the sub rail. Very difficult obstacle, lots of technical skill, and goes down and bangs his head. Ouch. Some of the better moves in his run.
That tail whip transfer right there, up to the deck, up to the hitching post.
And trying to come in backward, just couldn't hang on. That one hurt.
76.25 puts him in second place. Zafrin Shah from Malaysia, pretty stoked. Colin McKay, defending gold medal champion out of Australia. This guy certainly has pretty much every trick in the book wired in.
We're going to see a showtime right here, Keith. This guy has it all. One of the biggest names in our sport.
I'll tell you, some days Colin doesn't get it all together, though. This is a guy that when he's on, he is dead on and almost impossible to beat. When he's off, he's all the way off.
It seems like if he makes a couple mistakes in his run, then he just kind of blows the whole thing off and he wants to come back to his second run. But nice run right here. Despite a few little mistakes, another one right there just taps the front wheel. He wanted to do that completely on his back wheel, but everything else looks pretty solid.
Well, let's take a look at some of the big moments of Colin's ride.
Nice over the box jump with a no-foot can-can and the tail whip tire tap.
Yeah, just put a new bike together the other day, and I've been riding for 2 hours, nothing went wrong. In my run, my bloody brake cable pulled through, so weird timing. I wish I'd have done it in practice, but no worries. Got another run, should be all right.
Crikey, Ryan Gutler's coming up, 20 years old, took the bronze medal last year, and Gutler kind of been surprising some people.
He really came out of nowhere last year, Keith. I'd never heard of this guy ever until last year. Really only known in Australia until Asia X last year. And he came out and blew everybody away, and he's been doing that ever since on the international circuit. Huge moves out of this kid, and watch this over the box jump.
Yeah!
Huge 360 tail whip, and he looks so much confidence, does that early in his run. That's a big trick you can mess up on and really ruin your run. Lots of confidence to throw it down that early.
Kind of says a lot to the rest of the field when you're throwing high-risk maneuvers like that early in your run.
And everything's perfect so far.
Yes.
Back foot transfer over the hip. Little technical move right there over the wedge. The big 360 whip and another tail whip. Huge run for Ryan Gutler.
It's a good, awesome course. I love this course. Last year, I had so much fun on it. and I wasn't nervous or anything. Last year I really was because it was my first big comp, and kind of knew in practice that I had a couple of good lines. Like last year it flowed my opposite way and I got third. This year it flows my way, so I thought it might improve it, definitely.
Yeah, I'd say so. Gutler sitting in first place right now. Yoshitani Toмотaka.
He's got lots of serious style on that bike. Maybe not the most difficult tricks, but everybody loves to watch Yoshi ride. Very smooth flowing style.
Well, we've seen Yoshi at the Asian X past couple years. Both years top 10 finishes, but never to the podium.
Well, like I said, he just needs a couple more big technical tricks, but he's so much fun to watch. Always riding fast over every obstacle. He goes huge.
Well, check out the replays right here. All clicked out, true BMX style right there.
And over the box jump, 360 landing super smooth to the top of the ramp.
Yoshi, 82 points even, puts him in 4th place. All right, let's check out some highlights from the rest of the field. Thailand's Kiatichai Wanitsuko.
Huge run, lots of tricks. This guy's been coming on so strong, lots of new stuff.
Nung Chi Kyung out of Singapore, 70.5 points, puts him in 13th place.
This guy riding with an injured ankle kept him back a little bit.
Natapol Suanatat, also out of Thailand with a 12th place run.
Had some huge tricks, but a couple of falls hurt his score.
And his pride. Cheng Peng Chung out of Taipei, 70 points even, puts him in 14th place.
Really had the crowd on his side. Nice stall in the Huchin post.
And after 1 of 2 runs, Gutler's on top of the leaderboard with 93.25. Kenji Tsuruta in 2nd. Colin McKay, defending champion, in 3rd. Welcome back to Putra Stadium in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. The park prelims, we're still inside run number 1 here. Big Malaysian crowd coming to check out the action. And here is Peter Radivo out of Australia, 19 years old, placing his first bid at an Asian X Games spot in the finals.
Another newcomer to the sport, been around in Australia for a while, but the first time he's made it to a big competition. And he was lighting it up in practice, had a lot of huge moves, really smooth flowing styles. You can see right there, already 3 big tricks early in his run.
Nice, floats out the 360, nice and clean, hangs up that back tire, and that could have been nasty.
Keith, he was trying to do a wall tap there, just went a little too fast, and he went down hard right onto that left shoulder. Gets up and puts a strong run down after that, but that crash not only hurt his score, it hurt him, I believe. Big 360, there's the tail whip tire tap, perfect execution, stretching it out over the box jump.
Peter Radivo, 85.5, puts him in a respectable 3rd place. And Clint Miller out of Australia, no stranger to the Asian X, took 4th place last year. Like to get back in the hunt, see if he can get a podium spot here in 2004.
Been around the sport for a long, long time. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet also. Lots of technical bike skill. When I mean technical, I mean some of the smaller, more difficult variations. He's got the big tricks too, but his specialty is some of the smaller technical moves, like this on the sub rail. We call it a fufanu. Hop back in and a tail whip nose pick. Perfect execution, exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah.
That's an ice pick coming in fakey, and the judges will barely count off for that. He pretty much pulled it off. You do get credit for moves you almost make.
Nice.
Going for the double tail whip nose pick. Huge run for Clint. Wow, definitely going to be a high score.
Stomping that tail whip to tire tap at the end.
Another look at it right there.
I just wanted to get a solid run in just to get in the final. Then the pressure's off, you can relax and have a bit of fun with it all.
After 1 of 2 runs, Ryan Gutler on top of the leaderboard. Kenji Tsuruta in 2nd out of Japan. Australia's Clint Miller in 3rd. Colin McKay and Peter Radivo tied for 4th. Rounding out the top 10, Malaysian and Thai riders. All right, Kenji Tsuruta out of Japan after his first run put him in 2nd place amongst a field of Australians.
Pretty good score so far, and that will probably keep him into the final. Keep in mind we take the best run of your 2 runs, so he's got 1 great score already. But you know what? This is one of the only times the guys are on the course they can practice by themselves.
Ouch.
Take full advantage of the run. Try to get some more of your lines dialed in.
Yeah. Oh, thought he was going to pull that off, but having some trouble with the hitching post.
Big 360 over the box, smooth style. And here he's in the hitching post. Couldn't quite make this one happen. Catches his wheels and goes down.
Well, Kenji definitely going to be happier with run number 1. So are the judges. He's sitting in 2nd place.
First run, I'm happy, but second run, crash, no good.
Lo Chi Siang out of Singapore. His first run, 71 points, put him in 11th place. That's just outside the cut. Gonna have to step it up, Steve, if he wants to make it to the show.
And I've actually ridden with this guy a few times in Singapore. He's got lots of technical street style skills. I think it's more just a little bit of nerves, maybe a giant competition like this, but he's looking pretty smooth.
Well, this is totally different situation for most of these guys who aren't used to these big contests. Now you're indoors, stadium style. You got 12, 15,000 people screaming at you, cameras and lights all over the place. Definitely intimidating for you.
Keith, I don't care if it is something that you're used to. It's still nerve-wracking to come into an event this big. Even if you're an experienced competitor, it'll get to you. Nice little technical street move there.
After 2 runs, Gutler on top of the leaderboard. Kenji Tsuruta in 2nd, Clint Miller in 3rd. Colin McKay still to ride with his 2nd run, as is Shuji Ueyama. 2 Malaysians making the field, rounding out the top 10. When we come back, Colin McKay's got to take that 2nd ride in the park prelims from Putra Stadium.
Ryan Nyquist.
Wait, hold on, I gotta do something real quick. I think we did it in 2000.
Oh no, are we gonna do this again? That's right, Ryan. You won dirt in 2001, but you just won it here, and you won park. Well, what's going through this little head right now?
I think he's gonna get first after that. Geez, this year in dirt for the X Games, it was like, I don't know, past 2 years were like just that close to winning the gold. Like it came down to the last run, had to pull it off and would crash on like 720s. It was just something that I knew I could do, but just didn't work out. And so this past year, it was like, I just wanted to make sure that I didn't make that mistake again. Like I went in there 100% focused and just wanted to make sure like I had everything dialed. And after getting through something like that, it was like just a huge weight lifted off my shoulder, so I could go into the park and just relax and have fun. And that's exactly what happened. I just went out there and just took it for what it was. It was a park course, and I just went out there and rode it, found a couple cool lines, and just tried to do the tricks I knew I could do, and it worked out. Like I had a lot of fun actually in park, and when I started, it was just basically like a fun thing, just jumping curbs and stuff. And never in a million years would I have thought it would have escalated to international travels and winning contests and making a living off of it. It's like a dream come true, but it's like, I don't know. It's kind of weird to say a dream come true because it's a dream I never really had because I didn't know it was possible. I just graduated high school and started to go to college, and right around that time is when I kind of decided that maybe I should kind of pursue the bike riding thing. Like I was kind of torn between school and studying to be an engineer or riding at a professional level. And after a while, it just got to where my grades were suffering so bad that I was just like, man, it's not worth it to try to do 2 things when I could just do one thing and do that 100%. And after that, it was just kind of like just learning as I go because I was kind of thrown into it so fast that it was just so much stuff just happening, and I had to just kind of learn how to deal with it all. And actually, Dave Mira, I ended up getting signed with Power Bikes. He was my teammate. He showed me the ropes, showed me so much. Like I owe a lot to him just because he was like the guy that was right there always. Like we were hanging out, we were good friends, and he was just kind of showing me the way things were done. When you live and ride with a rider like Dave Mira, it's like you can't help but learn from him. And at the same time, when I'm learning from him, he's learning from me as well. I started riding and learning bigger and stuff, and actually more technical riding. And then he started jumping more and learning more of like the bar spins type of stuff. And it was awesome. Like we both pushed each other, and for the longest time there, we were just accelerating. Our progression was at an amazing rate. Riding the bike for a living is definitely awesome. I mean, you can't beat it. It's basically, I have something I love to do for a job. I do it for a living, and not many people can say they can actually do that. But as far as, like being a superstar or anything like that, I just think it's kind of overrated. I just try to be myself and try to enjoy myself, and I don't know, I just don't see the use of letting the fame and stuff go to your head and like that if all we're doing is riding little kids' bikes.
Thank you. Woo, give me a hug.
All right, welcome back to Stadium Putra, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Keith Allen and Steve Swope ready to take you to the back end of these bike stunt prelims. Colin McKay with his second run. This is the defending gold medal champion. He's already made the cut, but maybe wanted to improve on that seating a little bit, Steve.
Yeah, he had a little problem with his bike in his first run, but again, he's got a good score, but hey, why not put it all down? Maybe give the guy something else to think about going up against you in the finals. It's also a great time to work your lines and get him a little more dialed in. I'm not quite sure what that was. Trying to do a little wall ride to fake you out. Call it a big look down 360 over the box jump. No hander over that nice quarter pipe, and that's an opposite Fufanu, turning his unnatural direction.
Well, a little bit of improvement. 88 3/4 puts him in second place. Kazuo Okada from Japan, currently sitting in 15th. He's got a lot of real estate to make up, trying to make the top 10.
He does. He's been to Asian X a few times, and he's got tons of bike skill. One of the oldest competitors at 34 years of age. Lots of true moves this guy has. We'll see if he can put him down.
34, that's a grandfather in this sport.
Really is, yeah. Yep, he's still doing it though, and you can see he's got some big moves. Ooh, had to jump off there. Nice 360 over the box jump, lands with plenty of speed at the top, and here going to the sub rail. Nice Fufanu coming in solid.
Kazuo, 75.75, shaking it up. He's now inside the top 10. Shuji Ueyama currently sitting in 7th place. Been waiting for his ride, playing with the crowd a little bit, and now Shuji on course, ready to do his thing.
High-speed rider, lots of energy. This guy's huge inventory of tricks. Tail whip right out of the gate, having to muscle that around on a wedge. And a big jump over the sub rail. Nice, Shuji. Nose diving this one in for some extra speed with a tail whip out.
Working the sub rail.
He's got a great run going so far.
Whoa!
The big, I guess that's a flare to tire tap. Not seen that one before.
Didn't see it that time either.
There he goes, maybe a disaster.
Yeah, dude, that's insane.
I'll give that one to him, ride it out. Nice wedge to wedge tail whip, one of his first tricks. And a huge air over that sub rail that is so scary to do. If you catch your back wheel on the rail, you're going over hard.
And Shuji, 81.75, a little bit of improvement. He stays in 7th place. Some more highlights. The Malaysians placing their bid.
Coming on so strong, you guys are progressing so quick.
Amir just missing the cut in 11th place. In 13th, Somsak Sengli out of Thailand.
So hard to make it into the finals. Over 30 competitors here at Asia X. Top 10 only go to the finals.
And here they are. Ryan Goodley, your #1 qualifier. Colin McKay takes the #2 spot. Kenji Tsuruta in 3rd. Clint Miller in 4th. Peter Adivo in 5th. Rounding out your top 10, Lochi Sinang out of Singapore. Let's check out Goodler, the #1 qualifier.
It's a good feeling. I'm stoked with that. Like, I'm loving the course. I'm loving this, like, just riding for the crowd and stuff. It was good.
Stick around, because when we come back, we're heading outside to the women's bouldering finals from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Welcome back to the bouldering walls. It's getting to be go time for the women's bouldering finals. Jim Waugh giving last instructions to our female climbers as they methodically visualize these 2 walls. 2 minutes per wall, maximum scores. Tiebreakers will go to times on the first wall. We call this one the tombstone. Why? It's a killer. The route has changed since the semifinals. Some dynamic holds, including the brick. And I might add, those holds are getting smaller. Here we go. Akio Noguchi out of Japan, 14 years old, currently seated in 9th place. Now check out her style as she advances her way up the wall using her feet. She springs up and lunges towards that brick to get into that overhanging section. Now kind of walking her way across the wall, moves up towards almost a figure 4 to get that heel up on that brick. You see the hold on the far left? That's a dummy hold. She's gonna go for it anyways. It's not the easiest way up the wall, but she's gonna work it out anyhow. Check this out. One move to go. She's gotta get up to that red box to top out. She cannot hang on to it. She's gotta get a solid hold up on top of that box if she wants to take the credit. You can see the lactic acid building up, feeling the burn up there. Come on, girl, work it out. Topping out over the ledge. Akio Noguchi in first place after one wall. All right, let's check out some highlights for the rest of the field. Beatrix Chong out of Singapore working her way up Tombstone through the brick section right here. You see her using her heel and her hand harmoniously to advance across that brick. Trying to reach up over that overhanging ledge and doesn't have the energy to do so. Kim Jae-in out of Korea sitting in 2nd place as she works her way up Tombstone, the brick section, separating the pack right here. Oh yeah, you can see the strength as she's reaching up and over this ledge. She's not going to be denied.
My strength, probably my power. Like my shoulders are quite big, and I'm not sort of as flexible as a lot of other climbers, so I use a lot of power, and like I'm a very dynamic climber, and it's quite an advantage on such a steep wall.
Well, Sam Barry has length and strength on most of the other climbers, and she is using that to her advantage right here, reaching up to that hold. She just needs to work her way up and over this ledge to hit that top box. Now, last year, Sam Barry missed the red box and was disqualified, lost her podium spot. There we go. Sam Barry moving into first place, 38.75 seconds up that wall. Tomoka Ogawa out of Japan, currently sitting in 2nd place. She's amped up. We look back to last year's climb for Tomoka, last year's gold medalist as she worked her way up and over the ledge right here. So methodical, working her way patiently up and over the ledge. One hold to go. She reaches for the top box and suddenly has a whole bunch of adrenaline left. Well, she'd like to translate some of that adrenaline into this year's event. Right now, straddling the brick. Tomoko reaching in for a little chalk. That helps with the traction as it's hot out here. The sweat builds up and you slip off of those little finger holds. Tomoko reaching across now to the far left-hand side of Tombstone. She has got to get to that green hold up there, and she's going to go for a dynamic move. Can't hit it, and Tomoka Ogawa, the defending champion, cannot make it up Tombstone. Yu Yunyunyar, one of Indonesia's strongest climbers, qualified first coming into this, and Yu Yunyunyar, who we have seen time and time again performing at the Asian X. She's certainly no stranger to the big contest. She has been to the X Games in the US before, and Yu Yunyunyar now working her way across the brick. Dynamic move for Yu Yunyunyar, and she can't hang on to Tombstone. It takes her down. So after one wall, Samantha Barry out of Australia on top of the leaderboard. When we come back, the women's solve wall number 2. Tsunami coming up next. Welcome back to the Asian X Games 6 presented by Toyota. Former climbing champion Jae-Yong Lee, I think, squeezing some energy into Kim Jae-in. After one wall, Samantha Barry on top of the leaderboard. And now we look at the second problem. We call this one Tsunami, and it is a tough one. Look at that. You have to work your way up, then back down the wall before you can make it over that top ledge to top out. Akio Noguchi out of Japan, topped out on the first wall, now working her way up Tsunami, inverted through this overhanging section. in a tough spot right here, trying to make it over this first ledge, one of the most difficult sections of the wall, and not enough power to do it. Akio Noguchi cannot make it up Tsunami. Beatrix Chong out of Singapore, trying to progress over the ledge here. This is the do or die section of the wall. She's got a hold on it. Does she have enough strength to hang on to it? You see her advance her foot to take some of the pressure off of those fingers. Oh, and just barely hanging on to it. Looks like she's gonna grease that hold up top, and she does. Can't quite hang on to it. Beatrix Chong out of Singapore, currently in second place. Here we go. Kim Jae-in out of Korea, currently sitting in fifth place. She topped out on the first wall. Now working her way methodically up Tsunami. Check this out. Such a dynamic style. Completely upside down, working her way like Spider-Man up this overhanging section of Tsunami. Now trying to get up and over this ledge, and it's going to take a dynamic move and a lot of strength to get up and over it. She reaches in for a little chalk to help with the traction, trying to take some of the pressure off of her fingers, and lunging for that hold up and over the ledge. Kim Jae-in is moving up Tsunami. Now she's got to go for a dynamic move to get up and across and scale her way back across the wall. One more overhanging section right here. She's got to get up and over this ledge. Tops out in the top box, and Kim Jae-in out of Korea currently sitting in first place. Well, we got a shake-up here, but Sam Barry just moved down into fifth place, but guess what? She was the leader off of the first wall. If she tops out here on Tsunami, Sam Barry is going to take home an Asian X gold medal. Yeon Yunyar looking on, and Sam Barry working her way upside down, inverted through the overhanging section of Tsunami. Trying to solve this problem, working it out, taking a good look, trying to stay patient, and Sam Barry using her strength to get up and over this overhang. Now here's where her reach advantage comes into play. Sam Barry, taller, longer than all the other climbers. She's got the reach advantage and can get to those overhanging sections a little bit easier. You see now as she works her way across the wall, all crossed up right here, and Sam Barry again reaching deep for that strength as she makes it across his second overhang, and one more hold to go, and Sam Barry tops out on both walls, enough to take home Asian X gold. After last year's DQ, redemption is sweet.
I was very happy with how I performed today. I was feeling a little tired from this morning and a little nervous because anything can happen in the final. You don't know how you're going to feel at the time, but I was really happy. I performed exactly how I wanted to. I really went for it because I just wanted it this year.
And you got it, Sam. Samantha Barry taking home the gold. Korea's Kim Jae-in earned silver, and Akio Noguchi out of Japan taking home the bronze. The ladies come up to get those shiny medallions. Congratulations, Sam Barry taking home women's bouldering gold. Welcome back to Stadium Putra, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia for the Asian X Games 6 presented by Toyota. Time to get down to business with the aggressive inline park finals.
Out of Japan, Katsuhiko Sagata. Representing Thailand, Panama's Suero Janakit. Out of Kobe, Japan, Takeshi Yasutoko. Out of Australia, hopefully Malaysia will accept his apology, Sam Fogarty. Also from Australia, Ian Brown. Out of Thailand, Warapaj Bunim. Coming out of Japan, Soichiro Kanashima. Representing your country, Farid Mohamed Asa. Out of Thailand, Jirasak Tasorn. out of Australian, Nicholas Schoffer.
All right, Arlo, each skater getting 2 60-second runs. The best one counts on a 100-point scale. You take home that gold medal, you're going to X Games 10 in Los Angeles. Panumas Virajanakic out of Thailand, 21 years old, qualified through the Bangkok X Tour, and this kid ready to light it up.
Yeah, once you make it into the finals, it's time to bring out all the stops, bring out the big guns. Let's see what Panumas has.
You know, in the prelims, we heard Ian Brown say, hey, I got third, it's all I need, I just need to qualify. At this point in the finals, it's do or die. You got to turn it all on if you want to take home that medal.
That's exactly right. In the prelims, consistency counts. In the finals, you've got to take some chances, and Panumas is doing that quite well. You can see he's added some difficulty to his line. See what he's got on the handrail, saying a fakie 270, backside royale, alley-oop fish. Great way to finish a very good run, and that's exactly what we expect in the finals. He went backside royale over the channel, and then came 540 out of it. Those are the kind of chances that we're talking about that we expect to see in the finals. And watch how he switches this grind right into the alley-oop fish.
Panumas Virajanakic, 83.5 points. First place for now. Sam Fogarty from Australia has something to say about that, the number 7 qualifier, as we look back to his last year's performance, the gold medal run in KL last year.
That's right. This experience is going to help Sam. He knows what it takes to take the top spot here. And if he can have a repeat performance of last year where he landed all of his tricks, had a lot of difficulty, his chances look good. Here he comes. Flat spin, 540. You can see it's a different trick than he had last year with the 720. So mixing it up for the judges, showing he's got a lot of tricks in his bag. 360 over the volcano, right over the channel. Looks like a controlled, methodical approach here to this run. Going disaster backside royale. This was really great in the prelims. That line right there off the wedge into the disaster royale. So yeah, hitting all these tricks. Great so far for Sam Fogarty. And then a disaster kind grind. So many tricks packed into this run.
Well, Sam did a great job of shredding up every bit of coping on this course. Opens up inverted. Let's see if he's happy with this run.
Hopefully, that was just a run to get out of the way. Hopefully, I'll try my second run a bit harder.
Well, here comes Ian Brown, also no stranger to the big contest. Took a podium spot last year at Asian X.
Well, you heard Sam talking about his strategy here for this contest. It's something that a lot of skaters will employ in the finals. They want to get a solid run in the first round so that they can really afford to take some chances in the second round. But that's not to say it's the only strategy. Here, Ian Brown goes down, and that's the risk you take. You've only got 2 runs, so you really need to try and make the most of every opportunity because you never know when you're going to go down.
Well, Ian obviously having some problems here.
I wouldn't say I'm happy, but I don't really know. I'm tired. I skated pretty bad. But no, not real happy, but I'll just keep going.
Well, he's got another run for redemption. Nicholas Schoffer next off the deck. Number 1 qualifier out here, and this kid already got to be happy with his week out here.
No doubt. He was the star in the story of the prelims. You can hear the crowd cheering for him. He had a dream run in the second round of the prelims to get him that number 1 seed. Let's see if he can recreate that magic here in the finals. Going true Mizu over the channel. And this is one of his standout tricks. The backside Farfignugan to the royale, executed perfectly.
Yeah.
And now trying to switch it up even. He had a great run in the prelims, and you can see he's even trying to raise the bar again here in the finals. Torque balanced all the way down the handrail on 1 foot. So he has switched up his line for the better, and he is hitting these tricks. 720 up here on the quarter pipe. We saw that in the prelims. Another great run working from Nicholas.
He's loving it. I'll tell you what, not only has Nicholas's skating improved, but he's also learned how to create better lines.
No. Here at the end of his run, going for the big 720 over launch box, but what a big smile. He knows it was a great run, and that fall right there at the end won't hurt him too much. But look at what he did with his run. Torque all the way down the handrail in the 720. Good tricks.
If one of the athletes gets better than me, I'll try harder, but if no one can beat me, I'm just gonna do anything.
Well, Nicholas Schoffer definitely confident after 1 of 2 runs on top of the leaderboard. Soichiro Kaneshima in second, rounding out that top 10. Looky, Jirsak Kasorn, a former medalist. Well, The elite hang out at the top of the deck. We're coming back with more action from run number 2 in the finals. All right, Junior X time now from Stadium Putra, our aggressive inline Junior X Park event. Keaton Newsom from the USA, actually living in Singapore now with his family.
Going 360 over the launch box, and we've already seen the success of the junior tour and what kind of talent it can produce with Nicholas Schopfer making his way all the way to the #1 seed in the main event.
And Keaton Newsom, I guess, would be the future of that. These skaters all 15 and under.
Showing some difficult grinds as he goes alley top torn.
76.5, his best run, puts him in 3rd place. Rem Cooney out of Australia, 14 years old, living in Singapore.
And it's so cool to see these guys having fun out there. That's the main point as he goes upside down Barani flip. Australians love the Barani. And Remington keeping it real with that Barani over the launch box. Now going backside Royale over the channel, right into this bold corner, getting Royale all the way around it. Frontside Farfignugan up on that angle iron ledge. True top sole down the handrail, big trick.
80.75 puts Rem in 2nd place, and Ryan Arnold out of Australia, also 14 years old. This kid has some ridiculous skills on this park course.
Yeah, he definitely looked like the one to beat through the warm-up sessions.
Definitely looking dialed in through warm-ups and practice, like you said, and I think he was looking for new lines all the way until the competition started.
Yeah, you can't underestimate how important line is in a contest environment. All these guys come in here with tricks, but at every contest it's a new park course, and so it's important how they adapt to these new obstacles. Big fall there at the end of his run, but otherwise a lot of good tricks packed in there. Switching it up on the coping, here's that final fall as he attempts a 900.
Well, let's hear from a happy Ryan Arnold.
I just gave my heart out there today. I just want to win. I've never had a medal in my life, so I just want one.
Well, you got one now, brother. Congratulations, Ryan Arnold taking home the gold. Rem Cooney earned silver, and Keaton Newsom taking home the bronze. Right on. Ryan getting his shiny medallion right there, going from 8th place last year to the gold medal in 2004.
The Japanese skaters are really good.
Soichiro. Hanashima. Jurasek, top guy.
Jirasak.
Hassan.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, hearing a little preview from the field of who's looking strong as we move back to the main event. Our inline park finals, run number 2 underway. Anybody's game, it's the best of 2 runs in the final, Arlo.
That's right, and this is the time to raise the game and bring out your biggest tricks. All the skaters are well aware of that.
Katsuhiko Sagata out of Japan is certainly aware, and here he goes, coming out, spinning over the box. Yep. Oh, missing the coping.
A tough start to the run, but he's still got plenty of time left to work with. Just got to get right back into his rhythm, stay composed. Here he goes, topside sole, switching up Soyao on the handrail. Started out 360, you see he didn't look totally confident on there, and so he had trouble going right into his next trick, but this was the highlight of his run as he switched it up on the handrail.
Katsuhiko, 79 points even, puts him in 6th place. Here we go, Takeshi Yasutoko, currently sitting in 5th place, tied for 5th, by the way, needs 92.76 to lead. As we look back to the 2002 Asian X, first time we really saw Takeshi on the park course.
Well, everyone knows what he can do on vert, but I think a lot of people are surprised at how good he is on the park course. He won't be sneaking up on anyone here at this contest. He did right in the middle of the field. That's perfect striking distance.
And how about him opening up with some vert style with his signature Viking flip over the box?
And look at that trick. That's what's really impressive about Takeshi this year, is the kind of grinds that he's brought out to this park competition. He knows if he wants to be competitive in the finals, really competitive, he's got to show some big technical grinds. We know he's got those big moves on the transitions, but it's tricks like that and those great lines that are really going to give him a chance to win this thing.
Of course, Takeshi gonna have an advantage on these bigger sections of the course, but I gotta think the judges want to see him use all the technical sections as well.
Well, yeah, but I gotta tell you, you've also gotta play to your strengths. He's thrown some bones, he's got some good grinds in there like that alley-oop acid, but where he really is able to separate himself is with a great line. And he is showing that here. He's using every bit of this course, and the way he links those tricks, keeps moving, keeps that speed going, and going from one obstacle to the next with just this fluidity. It's a great line here for Takeshi. And showing the grinds too. That is a great run. Start out with a huge 540, big amplitude, and then look at this grind, how he steps around, switching it up out the alley-oop basket and the topside sole.
Yeah, Scandinavia is perfect for myself.
Yeah, that skate park working perfect for his style, and Warpad Bunyam out of Thailand says, I got some style of my own. Let's see what he can put together here.
Yeah, Warpaj had a very good first run, so that should give him some confidence coming into the second round. He can afford to take some chances. Let's see what he does with it. Setting up Fakie here. Fakie 360, disaster true Mizu, and then going all the way inverted over the volcano, true fish. So he is taking some chances here, but you can see it's costing him inconsistency a little bit. That was that big first trick over the launch box. And he went backslide, stepped it over into the alley-oop porn.
79-75 puts Warpod in 6th place. Hey, still to skate, Nick Schopper, the #1 seed, and Soichiro Kaneshima tied for 2nd, still to skate here in run #2 before we can determine who's taking home the gold. Stick around, because when we come back, we're gonna finish up the final here from the park course. Welcome back to the park course, where we are deep, deep, deep into the inline park finals. Second of 2 runs underway, and still a couple of skaters left to get those second runs in, including Soichiro Kaneshima, currently tied for 2nd place. He needs 92.76 to take the lead away from Nicholas Schopfer.
Conventional wisdom coming into the finals was that Soichiro, Jirasak, and Nicholas would be the ones competing for this gold medal here. This is Soichiro's last stand, his last opportunity to get that #1 spot. Off to a good start, solid line. Now Soichiro's strength is on the grinds. He's got more technical ability than virtually any other rider out here on the course. So that's what we're gonna be looking for. Here he goes, backside Farfanugan up the handrail, 540 out. That's a creative use of the course, utilizing his strength. And now that's exactly the kind of trick we expected to see, getting 3 variations on that grind right there on the handrail.
And Soichiro bringing so much style to the park course every time he skates. Check this out, working across the far side, alley-oop fish brain over the channel.
So nice, and you're right about his style. It's so great, especially on those technical moves. I mean, he brings a real street style out here to the park course. That's why he's become one of the favorites. And you can see each rider has different styles. Some guys will have a better line. Like we saw Takeshi had a great line moving around the course. But Soichiro's strength lies in his technical ability and his great style in those technical moves. So the judges have to evaluate different factors when they measure each one of these riders' runs. And he attempts the 900 over the volcano to finish it, but the strength of his run really was in the grinds. Here he goes, 540 over the box, and then this was the Farfanugan up the handrail, 540 out, a great move. And at the end of his run, he tried that 900, but not much success.
Oh, almost though, pretty close. Just couldn't quite get his skates back underneath him, but enough for first place right near Soichiro Kaneshima, shaking up the leaderboard.
You can see rewarded for taking those chances on the handrail and coping.
Farik bin Mohammed Essa out of Malaysia, currently sitting in 9th place, but it's the best of 2 runs. He can definitely make some changes here in the leaderboard after this run.
That's right, that's the beauty of the finals. Any rider can take it from any position. All you need to have is one perfect run, and Farik could be right back in the thick of it. Going alley-oop top porn up on the sub box. That's a great move. Now coming alley-oop backside unity. This was the start of his run, the big 540, and also showed some great grinds as he went kind grind down the ledge box.
Farik scoring 78.5 points, moves up to 8th place. Jirasak Tasorn currently sitting in 10th, and this kid, boy, that's probably the surprise of the whole deal. Giant double back right there to open it up. You don't expect to see him on the bottom of the leaderboard.
Well, with a low score like that, what that means is that he just actually took a scratch in his first run, probably fell on his first trick, and then decided he would just save it all for the second run. So he's put all his eggs in one basket here, and you see that's the risk you run. Now he's already taken a couple of falls here in the second round, and this is all he's got to work with. So he's got to make the most of it, trying to salvage every second here as he goes true Mizu. You know, Jirasak has always been one of the most talented riders on the circuit, and of course showing here that he's got some of the most dangerous, most exciting moves, but consistency tends to be a problem.
And Jirasak just can't move up enough. 79.25 puts him in 7th place. Nick Schoffer, who just went from the top of the leaderboard, now shuffled down to 2nd place. Gonna have to dig deep and see if he can take it away from Soichiro.
Well, he's put together 2 great runs. Actually 2 great runs in the prelims, and he had another great run in the finals. So he just needs 1 more here to try and get that title back from Soichiro. Now he's hitting these tricks, but you can see they're a little less crisp, a little less confident than he was doing them in the first round. And now even just goofing around a little bit. I know this is the best time to do it with the gold on the line.
Well, half the battle's having fun out here, and Nick Schoffer making sure he's having fun at all times.
That's right, showing the real spirit of the contest. I think he knows that the 2nd run will not beat his first, so he's gonna have to live with that 1st run score. But what a great contest overall for Nick Schoffer.
Because I had to do better, and I didn't know how to do it better. So, and I messed up 1 trick, so I lose all my momentum. But it's okay. I'm happy. 2nd is good enough. Fair enough for me.
It's all good. Nick taking home that silver medal. How about Takeshi Yasutoko earning the bronze, and the gold medal going to Japan, Soichiro Kaneshima.
Tomorrow, it's back to the Mines Resort as round 1 action continues with Heat 2 in the wakeboard competition. Then a truly international field featuring Asian, Aussie, Brazilian, and American skaters rides high on the vert in the skateboard vert prelims. And Aussie Ryan Goodler leads a strong field in the bike park final, but Colin McKay is determined to defend last year's gold medal. Find out who's king of the course in this year's battle for gold. Plenty of reasons to tune in for the action tomorrow here on ESPN.
One more bit of unfinished business. We got to hand out those shiny medallions. Congratulations to Takeshi, Nick, and Soichiro. Soichiro on his way to X Games 10 in LA. For Arlo Eisenberg, I'm Keith Allen. Thanks for watching the action from the Asian X Games 6 presented by Toyota.